Yo, good morning. Welcome to the Stochastic.com NBA Strategy Show presented by Bet365. Dave Lockard, Lafayette_D. I've also had this weird thing in my ear the past day and a half where, like, every few hours it just starts rumbling in my left ear. Not sure what it is. The hope is it goes away, and I'll leave it unattended until it does. But if it doesn't, well, wish me luck. Anyway, I'm over at Lafayette_D on Twitter, joined by Josh Engleman at Josh Engleman on the Twitters, breaking down a 2-game slate play-in round. What's going on, man?
Not too much, man. I'm a little worried about you now. I've never rumbled as a human being before. That's a new one.
It's an odd feeling, I must say. Very odd feeling. Not sure. I'm not sure what it is, but I think we'll be okay. I mean, look, things happen, you know?
My brain is a bit of a stone tumbler up there, so I'm not surprised.
Listen, it's not the brain, it's the ear. This ear has always been kind of weird. I'm not sure what it is. There was a time where, like, for 3 straight months, it just felt like I was, if you're going up the hill in a car, or you have to, or you're in a plane. I don't know if you get that, but I do, where if I don't.
I do.
Yeah, like decompress. I was getting that. I go to for a physical and I tell him what's going on. And he's like, don't worry about it. I didn't worry about it and it went away. So,
Perfect doctor there. Don't worry about it.
He was right. He was right.
Well, was he? Was he?
Yeah.
I don't know. Now you rumble. Maybe it got worse.
Yeah. He died 3 months later from an ear infection.
Yeah, exactly.
He did.
You probably got like an army man or something jammed in there from when you were 3 years old and you don't even know it.
Anyway, man, we got 2 games today. Yesterday was wild. I didn't make it up to watch the second half of the late game, but watched all of Miami and Atlanta. Jimmy Butler, I mean, what a tough performance that was for him. It's not like the opportunities weren't there. And I bet the double-double, too. I went 2 for 3 on props in that game, but I bet the double at plus 220. He had 9 assists coming into the fourth quarter. I'm thinking, I'm about to get this. It's going to be a great night. And then they just, like, every time they got a little bit closer, they just collapsed. Kyle Lowry was the star of the show, absolutely dominant. And I will say this much, Josh, his stat line actually does not actually reflect how good he was last night, because so many players on his own team missed wide open opportunities from him.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, he probably should have had the same stat line, like in the aggregate, from like a fantasy points perspective, but it should have came in a slightly different way. He should have had a lot more assists, and I don't think that we should expect him to go 6 for 9 from 3 all that frequently. No. Like, you take 2 of those away and you give him like the 4 or 5 assists that were just full on whiff mode from yesterday, and you end up getting to the same spot. But I mean, you 11 of 16 from the field, he was able to score, and that was not what Bam Adebayo was able to do. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe you're right in the aggregate. It could have been, but at the same time, like, there were just, I'm talking wide open layups. Not like, oh, he missed a 12-foot uncontested jumper on an assist from Lowry. Like, Butler literally missed 3 layups from Lowry. And I'm sitting there sweating the over on the assist with everybody on our chalkboard channel. Yeah. And we're just like, someone goes, Lowry needs to step it up. I'm like, he really doesn't. I don't know. But you know what was pretty sick about that game? Outside of, actually being sick if you're a Miami fan, is the fact that, like, Lowry actually turned it on again. It wasn't just knocking down threes. He was aggressive at the rim. You know what I mean? Like, he was getting, you see all the blocking fouls he got called for him. Like, he was aggressive and actually looked like he could still dial it up a little bit. So that was kind of fun. Who knows if it goes through the whole postseason, but it was fun to watch.
Well, the whole postseason might be one more game, depending on how this shakes out.
Exactly.
So, he might be able to give it his all and then go get a shit ton of rest this summer.
Possible. Yeah.
Yeah, that game was not fun to watch. Neither game was like particularly fun to watch. The Lakers-Minnesota game put me to sleep in the second quarter. But
I fell asleep in the second quarter too. I had
Atlanta was fun to see, I guess.
What was?
Atlanta was good enough to see, I guess.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, dude. Whatever. I mean, look.
Clint Capella owned the boards. That was a fun thing to watch.
21?
Yeah. 4 points. He had 8 offensive rebounds. I believe it was 8 offensive rebounds. I could be wrong. I don't think that it's less. Let's just say 8 for right now because I don't have it in front of me. He had 8 offensive rebounds and 4 points.
Yeah.
That shit's hard to do.
Well, he hauls down offensive rebounds and immediately just dishes them off to Trey or Murray.
Yeah. He also missed 4 free throws.
It was crazy. And someone in our chalkboard was like, man, that's got to be a record for the play-in games because Greg and I were doing we were doing a giveaway and we were giving away like 5 2-week passes to Odd Shopper Premium. And we were doing, sports trivia, right? To get to who gets it first.
Sure.
And Greg had asked one of them who scored the most points in a play-in game. You got to make them somewhat difficult, a little bit harder to look up out of the gate. And it was Tatum with 50. So later someone's like, man, those 21 rebounds have to be a record in the play-in games. Of course, they've only been going on for 3 seasons now, 2.5. It's not though. Jovel had 23 boards and 23 points in 2021 play-in game.
Fair enough. Okay. Big Joe Balte. I get it.
Jovel's a stud. You ready to talk some basketball?
Yes, I am.
Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below if you're listening after the fact. All that stuff, believe it or not, goes a very long way here for the YouTube algorithm. So we appreciate you guys in advance. And if you're in podcast form listening, we see you out there. Leave a rating, review, subscribe to the pod, and tell your friends about the channel, man. Eventually, we're going to hit that 100K, and it's going to be a wonderful day here on the Stochastic YouTube channel. But anyway, enough of the pleasure. Yeah. Joseph Ramirez, shout out Scooter Jeanette. Josh, there have been 6 players in MLB, in Major League Baseball since 2002 to have a 4 home run game.
Mm-hmm.
Can you name 3 of them?
I mean, I can name one that was in the 90s, if it helps. I know Mark Whitten did it back in the day.
All right, well, Scooter Jeanette was one of them.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
What do you mean? That's shocking.
Is it?
Man, well, talk about a wet blanket you are. My God.
Dude, I have no idea what he does
Adam
in baseball. I don't know what team he's on. I have no idea anything that I
don't even think he's still on a team. But when you think of 4 home run games, you're not
hold on, what do you mean?
Scooter
hold on,
Jeanette.
hold on. Pause. What do you mean that you don't think he's on a team? Did it not happen yesterday? Why is this getting brought up?
Because it was one of the trivia questions.
Oh, how would I know that?
I said since 2002. I thought you might know some of them. All right. Josh Hamilton.
You're mentioning Scooter Jeanette like he did this yesterday. I had no idea.
I said the question was yesterday. Josh Hamilton was one of them. Yeah.
I'm sure he took 4 shots of something.
I mean, he's just railing coke.
Yeah.
I loved his book, by the way.
Never read it.
JD Martinez was one of them. Yeah, man.
I wouldn't have named one of them. No idea. I would have named Mark Whitten, and he did it in like 1994 or some shit. That's the only one I would have known.
We asked a tough question. I had no idea until I looked it up, by the way, yesterday before the question.
No clue.
All right, well, let's get into KJ. All right, boys, on to the. At least you asked politely, KJ. We got 2 games, man. We got 2 games. It's going to be okay. All right, well, I guess it's time to talk some basketball here. Chicago and Toronto. Did you see? You see the total in this game?
213 was what I saw earlier today. I don't know if it moved at all.
It did. A half point. 213.5.
That should be a barn burner.
Dude, Chicago plays so slow. It's down to 212.5 now. It's actually being pushed down.
That's great. I mean, this is in my model, it's the number 26 and number 27 teams in pace.
Yeah, they're super slow paced teams, but we only have 2 games today. So we're going to have to dive into this and do everything we can to get this going. Chicago Bulls. So here's the thing about the Bulls. All of them are priced down for this matchup. Whereas we saw yesterday guys like Trae Young and a few others who had been priced down throughout the end of the regular season, priced up. But today, Levine, 7,300. Vooch, 7,400. DeRozan, 7,700. I don't want to say I don't get it, but in a way, it's like, I don't get it because look at the ownership coming in on these guys. If they were in the 8K range, it would be where they've been all season. It would be nowhere near this ownership today.
Yeah, it's fully warranted. The Bulls are like a better version of the Heat top 3 were yesterday. You get Vooch in that Bam role. He's pulling 50% ownership, basically the same. You get Levine. I guess sort of in the Tyler Hero role, but slightly more expensive. He's getting 67% ownership, fully warranted as far as I can tell. Shooting guard, small forward eligibility, cheap ass price tag, gonna play increased minutes. And then DeRozan is like the pseudo Jimmy Butler at a cheaper price, 42% owned. I don't love this game for DeRozan. We can get into that in a little bit, but yes, all three of those guys at sub 8K price tags should have massive ownership attached to them because they're just not priced correctly for a win or go home game. It's insane. It makes no sense at all.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, just looking throughout all of these guys, the issue was always, well, they're all 82, 8,400, and they all have similar per minute production, so they're fine. But now you're going, all right, they all have similar per minute production, but they're all pretty discounted. Like the Levine at 7,300 is silly. You're talking about what, a 30% usage guy around in a play-in game already playing. Think about this too. With a guy like Zach LaVine, you're not going, oh yeah, we'll ramp his minutes up a little bit. In competitive games, he was playing 37, 38 minutes in the regular season. So getting 40 plus from him tonight would not be shocking at all. And don't forget, this is unlike yesterday's games with the 7th and 8th seeds. Loser of this one is just done. There's no redemption after this game. You win or you lose and you go home. So I just think the minutes for guys like LaVine are going to be massive today. DeRozan should play big minutes, but I'm not surprised that LaVine is the highest owned of the trio.
Yeah, I went 39 minutes to DeRozan, 39 to LaVine, and then 37 to Vooch. I might end up going to 40 on DeRozan, but again, I don't love him in this spot, so I don't mind not getting to him the way that I am. I've got fairly limited amounts of DeRozan. Toronto's just tailor-made to slow him down. So there is that. But when I look at LaVine, I gave him 39 minutes. Like I said, he's a little over a fantasy point per minute guy. He's got the best positional eligibility that you can ask for. And he's priced as if he's going to play 34 minutes like it's a regulation game. He's probably the first guy you're putting into a cash lineup with any sort of confidence. Am I a little light on him right now? I am. We'll get to the reasons why that's the case, but I don't want to undersell this at all. Zach LaVine looks like an absolutely fantastic play today. Basically the easiest guy to get to because of his positionality. I think that I'll probably get to more Vooch than DeRozan as well. 7,400 looks good. I assume they're increasing his minutes to as much as he can handle. I don't get the sense they would like to put a lot of Andre Drummond out on the floor. Maybe you can do that if Jakob Poeltl is out there, or I guess if Precious Achiuwa is out there. We'll see what that Raptors rotation ends up looking like. But this doesn't feel like a spot where I'm actually even trying to go to we've got 5% ownership coming into Drummond. That I don't see. Vooch isn't that type of guy. I think he's going to be out there for big minutes.
Yeah, what's Drummond's playing time look like today? 10 at the most?
I gave him 11 minutes. I got him at 13 fantasy points. But right, center only, it just becomes hard.
You have Vooch at 37, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 11 minutes from Drummond. Who knows? Who knows? It's Andre Drummond. He could go for 20 and 11, but it's a hard ask for sure. Why do you say that the Toronto's tailor-made to stop DeRozan?
It's just all these long wings that for him to get to the mid-range, there's always going to be long bodies around him. It's going to be really hard for him to find the space that he's looking for in this type of matchup. I think this is going to be a lot more Zach LaVine creation than it's going to be for DeRozan, because if you're just getting a steady diet of OG Anunoby and Scotty Barnes and Siakam, if you want to go that direction, they've got these wing defenders that are going to cause some problems. I think OG Anunoby is probably going to get a lot of DeMar DeRozan in this case, and that's just not a good recipe for DeRozan.
Jacob, if it's doable, I know Jordan had some issues with it yesterday, just getting it to fit the screen. Feel free to pull the boom bust tool up as well and scroll over to optimal and leverage score and stuff so people can get a look at that. Definitely helpful, honestly. If you can't get it to fit the screen right, no big deal. But if you can, that'd be pretty sweet. Anything else for Chicago you want to get in? How many minutes do you think Caruso plays today?
Yeah, we got a couple more things that we need to touch on here. And it's sort of the elephant in the room. We've got 25% ownership going to Beverly at 4,400. We've got 20% ownership going to Caruso at 3,900. Both guys are point guard, shooting guard eligible. So we're really comparing these two guys and to a lesser degree, Patrick Williams in terms of like who's going to get additional minutes. Like, is there a fourth guy that starts to play a lot more? Beverly's the tricky one. I think you could see him play upwards of like 32 minutes and really just take advantage, like take control. But at the same time, when you start playing DeRozan 40 minutes and Levine 40 minutes and Vooch, 37 to 40 minutes, you start getting a lot less out of Patrick Beverly than you do when he's like a spark plug playing 30 minutes. The guy that I'm most interested in here now, and the guy that I'm 2x the field on, is the CEO of Osmo, Alex Baker. He's 20% owned here. I got 48% right now.
The resemblance is uncanny.
It's staggering. It's truly staggering. Look, if they're winning this game in any way, and Alex Caruso can be on the floor, because he's obviously been dinged up as of late. I don't know how much this dude could actually play. Like, he's just permanently hurt. I gave him 26 minutes. I love him here today. Because, again, if they're ahead, he's out there because he's their best defensive player. It's not even close. He's one of like the 5 best defensive guards that exist. He's playing in a situation where the Bulls are trying to protect the lead. And I think that they can still get away with him being out there if they're behind, because he does fit what they're looking for. You do got to stop the other team from scoring if you're trying to make a comeback as well. I think he could play upwards of 30 today. We just haven't seen that in a very long time. At 26 minutes, I think he's the best value option that you can get to from the Bulls. He's my most exposed Bull right now.
All right. Most exposed Bull. By the way, if you feel that way, Alex Caruso's steals prop is at a half a steal in spots.
Scary because of Toronto. They don't turn the ball over at all.
They don't turn it over a lot, but half a steal is a nice number. It's juiced to the over pretty heavily. If you think he could play 30 minutes, like you said, yeah, they don't turn the ball over all that often. But Alex
number
Caruso,
number one in turnover rate. Like they don't give it up.
Yeah,
but
I hear you. I'm just saying it's usually when he was getting minutes last year, it was 1.5, and then they just moved it to 1.5, like -2, like -190, right? Because you're not doing 2.5, and then it's just going to be insane. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. They don't turn the ball over often. This guy averages 2.2 steals per 36. Just saying, great defensive player, active hands, interesting spot there. But agreed, it's not one of those matchups where you're going to get as many opportunities as you normally would. What do you think the floor on minutes for him today is, though? Like 18?
I mean, if they get down early, I think you see a little bit more of Kobe White. You potentially see a little bit more of Patrick Beverly. So, yeah, something in that like 18 to 20 range. Look, and he's not a good per minute guy. Neither is Beverly. Neither is Patrick Williams, who conceivably could play a little bit more here if they want to try to get more size on the floor against Toronto. But he's already 4,800. I'd be surprised to see like ultra big minutes for someone like Kobe White unless they're behind. But at the same time, he's 5,300. That is a very, very difficult price tag to get to when he's sort of like the fourth option in minutes. And then Dosunmu, I can't imagine it at this point. He's just behind too many guys.
I'll give you something. One of our best NBA bets over on Odd Shopper right now. Yeah. First week of that's free, by the way. This isn't an Odd Shopper show, but I use that tool every single day, getting closing line value on every single bet. It's wonderful. You just got to get in quick because these books move them real fast. Alex Caruso over 9.5 PRA, Josh.
I got it at 12.3.
Ooh, okay. Ooh.
6 point, but it sounds so shitty. 6 points, 3.5 boards, 2.8 assists.
Right. Yeah, it's not exactly enticing, but yeah. All I could say this: a lot of other books have it at 10.5. Every one of them, but BetMGM. So when you're getting that value, you take it regardless. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, want to move on to Toronto?
Sure.
All right. Unless you had anything on Kobe White here, anybody else?
No, I don't think there's anybody else that we could really talk about here for Chicago. They narrowed their rotation down pretty quickly. There's a chance that Andre Drummond doesn't play and they redistribute those minutes a little bit. I don't think that really opens anybody up just probably gives you a better chance to get to someone like Patrick Williams.
Looking at Toronto, you want to talk about compressed rotations? We already know that Nick Nurse will do what he can to keep some of these guys on the floor as long as humanly possible. That really does make this intriguing because, I mean, now these prices, they decided to leave the Raptors up and price the Bulls down. But how many minutes right now are we projecting for Siakam and Van Vliet specifically? But even like Anunoby and Barnes, these guys are going to play a ton of minutes tonight.
Yeah, I went 40 to Van Vliet, Anunoby, and Siakam, and 38 to Barnes. I think you're live for 44 on Van Vliet and 44 on Siakam. I think that's a reasonable enough path. I think you get solid to big minutes out of Gary Trent and Jakob Poeltl. I went like 28 for those guys. I think that's a little bit more reasonable. We're going to talk about, I think they're the two best plays on the team. They are getting the two biggest ownership numbers as well. And then I don't think you get much out of anybody else. They're just going to soak up so much playing time to their top 6. And then it's just like somebody else is going to show up for 10 to 12 minutes, whether that's Boucher, Achua, Barton. They got a bunch of other garbage at the bottom, but you got to focus on the top here. To me, the best guy that you can get to, given the way that ownership looks, is OG Anunoby, 6,900. He's like a 0.85 fantasy point per minute guy, but if you assume he's got out there playing 40 minutes, he's shooting guard, small forward, and 7% owned. If you're looking for the guy that can allow you to be different in the large field GPPs, to me, it's pretty clearly Anunoby at the top. I don't mind the idea of getting to Siakam. I just prefer getting to Van Vliet before I do. I saved that $1,000. I don't think that they're all that different on a per minute basis. You do get that discount in ownership from Siakam. He's half as owned as Van Vliet, but I didn't get to as much Siakam as I was expecting. I'm getting to Van Vliet. I'm certainly getting to Anunoby. And then I'm getting to everybody else from Toronto. Barnes, big time. Trent, as big as you can get. That price tag and position is incredible. And then Jake Puddle should have a decent day at 5,700.
I think the ownership on Jakob Poeltl, like I almost just wish that it was lower because his minutes had been down over the final few games to close out the year. But there's a very good chance that at 5,700, Poeltl comes back in and plays another 30 minutes. Like all of the minutes recently that you look at, these were all played. All of these minutes were played throughout the first 3 quarters. It's not like he was closing the fourth. That makes it more interesting to me because if he does start closing again, like, okay, Boston on the 7th, they were down by 36. Why bring him back out? On the 4th against the Charlotte Hornets, they were up by 24 points going into the 4th quarter, right? Like look at all of these games. And then there's another one that he came back in to close out, played 30 minutes, would have played 33. The only one that he didn't close out recently that was competitive was that 4-point loss to Boston where Achua closed it out. I think there's a real path that Poeltl could play 30 plus minutes today if he gets back out there for the 4th.
I could also see it going the other way here where they move to a Siakam at the 5 type scenario because of Vooch on the opposite side. He's going to be spreading out the floor. You're not going to be putting Jakob Poeltl on Vooch defensively. Jakob Poeltl's probably going to be guarding like Patrick Williams when he's on the floor, maybe Beverly when he's on the floor. He's not. I don't think that he's going to get a lot of Vooch because Vooch is going to be spacing the floor. There's no need, like if you're going to be playing Jakob Poeltl outside the paint, there's no need for him to be on the floor any longer. That's not his best attributes. So I would not be surprised to see them at least go a little bit smaller. You get Gary Trent in there for a couple extra minutes. You move Siakam to the 5, who can very easily handle a Vooch matchup in this scenario. I can see it going that direction as well. It's an interesting balance just because of the way that Vooch plays. So Poeltl has me nervous. I went 28 minutes. That made me feel pretty good. The key here is this. I gave him 28 minutes, and at 5,700, he's in 75% of my lineup. So I don't even need those additional minutes to get there. If I gave him those minutes, I might have him in everything. There's a more likely scenario that I discount him slightly and play for that smaller lineup. I can see it going either way. Their defense locks down Chicago. Jakob Poeltl's rim protection is just looking fantastic, and he's just out there because he's not picking up any fouls. But if they run into any sort of situations, I think that they can pretty quickly get him out of there and redistribute their defense.
Yeah, look, it's possible. He played 26 against them on the 26th of February. He played 30 minutes against them on the 6th. That was right before the trade deadline. 3 games against Chicago this year, he's averaging 29 minutes. So I don't know. I think your 28 probably seems right. All I'm saying is if he does end up closing, like what I'm saying here is that all of these minutes are front loaded to the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
So like you pretty much know you're getting that. Then it's a
Yeah,
question
like
of,
I think it's a pretty safe bet that barring foul trouble, you're getting 24-ish minutes out of Jakob Poeltl.
There's upside for more. But like you said, at that price point.
And he can pay, look, you need like 30 out of Jakob Poeltl to be really happy about it. He can put up 30 in 24 minutes. You don't have to feel bad about that at all. He's a 1.15 fantasy point per minute guy. So it's there for you.
Anybody else for Toronto?
No, I don't think so. Like, I don't. It's VanVleet, Anunoby, Siakam, Barnes, Trent, Poeltl. I don't think it's possible to get shares of Boucher or Achua. Like, if you're playing 150 lineups in the largest field contest and you end up with like 1% Chris Boucher because you want to take a shot, like go for it. That's not ever going to be anything that I'm going to recommend. But everybody is viable for Toronto in a pretty big way. Anunoby to me looks the most underrepresented. Gary Trent is pretty clearly to me the easiest guy to get to because of his position and price.
You're just not going to see a lot of, legitimate players off the bench getting opportunities here. There's just no way.
No. And you can't even be confident with Toronto. Like whether it's Boucher, you assume it's Boucher, but whether it's Achua or Barton or, Malachi Flynn as a backup, Jeff Doughton as a backup, like all of these guys could be just guys that play like one rotation and then never see the floor again.
Yeah. Looking at the postseason last year, just pulled up game 1 against Philly, right? And this is crazy. All like blowout run at the bottom. Precious Achua played 28 off the bench. Boucher played 15. Nobody else played more than 8 minutes off the bench. So I think you could see something pretty similar today. All
Agreed.
Right. Let's keep it moving.
And now they have Jakob Poeltl, who can like soak up some of that playing time and be a better option.
Pharaoh Dynasty said you got to get some cheapies somewhere though. Well, I'm looking at the slate. Yeah,
I just got done saying that Gary Trent is the best guy to get to from Toronto. So there's your cheapie.
Yeah,
he's cheaper than Chris Boucher. He's cheaper than Precious Achua.
You're not going to get the Kyle Lowrys very often.
No.
Yeah. Is he cheaper than Boucher?
Gary Trent's in a better spot today at 4,200 than Kyle Lowry was yesterday at 4K.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to do what Lowry did because he lacks the peripherals, but Lowry actually did most of it as a scorer anyway.
Well, the good thing for Gary Trent today is that Chicago gives up threes like gangbusters. They're like 28th in 3-point attempts allowed. That plays directly into Gary Trent's hands. If you're going to be scoring dependent and all you do is shoot threes, then get the matchup against the team that allows you to do that at will.
I know you're a nihilist and to you nothing matters and you care about nothing, but this OKC New Orleans game is kind of fun. Like I'm actually looking forward to this game.
I hate the Pelicans, so
I knew it.
I'm only looking forward to it to hope the Thunder smack the Pelicans. I love the Pelicans when Zion is healthy. I hate that everybody like jerks off over Brandon Ingram like he's this exceptional player when he's like fine.
I'm clearly, by the way, winning our bet that Zion will never be first team All NBA.
I don't think that it was just first team, by the way.
Yeah, it was, dude. Yeah, it was. And
no, I think we added second team as well.
Oh, here we go.
No, that's not the part of the bet I'm worried about. And we also said that the caveat exists that like if he's just dead forever, then it's a non-bet.
I said it's a non-bet because I expect him to be hurt all the time. He's the size of a dump truck.
It's a bummer, man. He's
no fault of his own.
Good.
Like that's just the way he's built.
Oh no, it's fault of his own. It is only his fault. If you don't want to be that big, you just eat less. It's super simple.
It is.
It might be hard mentally, but the answer is right there.
Little caloric deficit and some exercise.
Get him the hell out of New Orleans, man. The food there is phenomenal. That's the problem.
I like what you're preaching, though. I like what you're preaching. No sugarcoating it. Hey, you want to lose some weight? Just come in on a caloric deficit and eat less than eat less calories, less than that's all. Burn more than you eat. That's what they say, Josh, and you'll lose weight guaranteed, huh? That's what you're telling Zion to do?
Yes, that's what everybody should be telling him to do. Here's what they need to do. What they need to do is put him in a city that doesn't have good food. Maybe the New Orleans Pelicans are sick and tired of his bullshit, and they just don't see a path for him to ever not look like a gigantic bowling ball with arms and legs attached to him.
Do you really think?
What if the Oklahoma City Thunder called and said, "Are you sick of Zion? How much can we give you? Because we have infinite picks moving forward. We've got 3 or 4 different random young guys that we can send out.
And no good food?
Would you like Josh Giddey? Would you like Josh Giddey and another one of these long dudes that we don't know who's going to shake out and 7 draft picks? Here, take this. Because you know what he's not going to find in Oklahoma City? Anything worth a damn. Nobody wants to be in Oklahoma City. He's not going to be getting all this great Cajun food like he gets in New Orleans right now, because Oklahoma City, by all accounts, has to be an awful place to be.
You've gone...
apologies in advance.
You've gone down our producer,
I assume you don't have anybody from Oklahoma City.
Our producer, Jacob, lives in Oklahoma City.
True?
No, he's in Vegas.
I was going to say, I could have swore I heard Vegas earlier today.
But Josh, first of all, you're going down a rabbit hole that even I'm not sure I can participate in. Okay. And I'm usually willing to entertain this nonsense. He'd just get a personal chef.
Could. But they're going to have it's not going to be the same, man.
But what weight could he really get down to be healthy where it's not affecting his knees? Like where the way that he's built, he could do that no problem. Well, I don't want to say no problem, but with a little hard work and elbow grease.
I don't know. I have no idea how much the dude even weighs.
Wasn't he north of three something before a couple?
I don't know. There's no telling what that dude weighs. Because even if he loses weight, that dude's like a fire hydrant. Like he's always going to be pretty. He's going to be pretty sturdy one way or the other. I have no idea how much extra that dude is carrying.
That's what I meant.
Here's one thing I want to say.
What?
If you took that dude into short shorts and you had him take his shirts and shit off, we would not be calling him fat. He would look.
That's why I was saying it's the way he's built. He's built like a tank.
Yeah.
Jacob said listed at 284 in October 2022. And there were rumors that he was up north of 315 preseason 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's the one guy in the league where I'm just I don't understand what that dude weighs. There's no physical comps for him in basketball to be well, if that guy weighs 220, that there's nobody.
No, you can't do it.
And I have no idea how to eyeball that dude.
Embiid got himself in shape and the conditioning looked a whole lot better. Remember how bad his conditioning was? And he actually worked to get in shape.
I had a back and forth in my DMs last night with Andy Glockner about this, where it was just somebody's got to get him on the Embiid plan. Otherwise, this dude's career is done.
Yeah, just no more Chick-fil-A.
Wow.
Chick-fil-A is delicious though. I got it on Friday.
Dude, you can get grilled nuggets.
I know, but
now Zion's probably going to eat 80 of them, so that's probably a bit of an issue. I get the 30-piece nugget, and I make that thing disappear. What is that dude doing? Yeah, he's just eating whole chickens.
Yeah, don't even nugget them for me. Just give me.
Yeah. Just smush the whole body together.
Yeah, just eat 40 of them, and you're probably taking. I mean, listen, I've watched my fair share of my 600-pound life. And Doctor,
he's probably having a lot of sodies.
Doctor, Doctor. Some people get that. Doctor now goes. He's like, hello, how y'all doing? Right? He comes in, same thing each time. He's the man, and he's like, I want you to lose 50 pounds in a month. Now, mind you, they think it's insane. They're 780 pounds.
That's one big shit.
You could walk to the bathroom twice a day. And you're taking off 5 a day, Yeah. They come back, they've been working hard. They show one clip of them in the gym and they come back and they've gained 7 pounds. But when you get that big, it's not that difficult to whatever. I don't know why we're going down.
Well, you're carrying so much inflammation in your body that it's just it desperately wants to get out if you do the right shit for 72 hours.
Yeah. I mean, the lymphedema is 100 pounds and that's got to get removed on its own. But yeah, I think he can do it. I'm pulling for you, Zion. I'm pulling for you, brother.
Lay off the sodies, brother.
All right, let's keep it moving. Oklahoma, the Sodies, Oklahoma City on the road. Bet. You know what? I'll do that in a minute. Oklahoma City on the road. Let's go. Too much nonsense to jump straight into a read. You can't do that. That's just not professional.
At least it's a read. It's a read for us, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, by the way.
Right. Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe. It is funny that SGA is pulling 10%, 11% right now. I get it because there's not a lot of value here, but at the same time, 11% SGA in a game with a considerably higher total than the one between the Toronto Raptors and Charlotte. The real question is it feasible, Josh, to get to, to get to an abundance of SGA at his price point today?
Is it feasible? Yes. Am I doing it? No. Do I wish that I was? Fucking yes, absolutely. I gave him 40 minutes and I'm still not getting all that much of SGA. I would like to. It would be a much better experience for me personally if he was a guy that I'm getting to, but it's kind of difficult. I'm getting to a lot more of the rest of his team, which is helping. And look, if you can find the money to get there, much like yesterday, where we did see LeBron and AD come in a little bit higher owned than what we were projecting. So don't be surprised to see Shea at like 18 or 19 when all is said and done. If you can find the money to get to Shea in this spot, the Pelicans defense isn't all that great. And he's going to play 40 minutes today. He's fantastic. He's a 1.3 fantasy point per minute guy. You're getting 32% usage. You're getting close to a 25% assist rate. If you can find it, get it. I don't want to talk anybody out of SGA. The way that I make my lineups, I don't have him right now. That's not the way that I want to describe how I feel about him.
19.5% leverage, optimal score too. So his leverage score is real nice in the boom bust tool.
I think his ownership is probably closer to his optimal rate.
Probably.
Based on what we saw yesterday. I think today and yesterday look pretty similar at the top. Yeah. And we just saw LeBron and AD come in a bit higher owned.
By the way, boom bust tool, ownership, player projections, lineup generator, lineup builder, top stacks tool, top pitchers tool, top hitters tool, all that stuff. 50% off the first week or first month, depending on how you want to play it. Josh, we mentioned it yesterday. There's just every sport outside of NFL right now. Like you're just getting every sport from NHL to MLB, NBA, PGA, UFC, NASCAR, tennis, all of that. You're getting all of that 50% off. So if you've been on the fence, like waiting for an entry point here, and you're looking to get the discount, 50% off all of our tools is fantastic right now, especially with baseball just kicking off or starting off. All of the tools we have for baseball, you're not going to beat them out there. The top stacks and top pitchers tool are as good as it gets. And if you're someone that's, maybe you're just doing it as a hobby, you're just having fun, you're playing with a few bucks a day, the lineup generator is right up your alley. That's half off for the first week as well. It's $4.48 for the first week. All you're doing, very simply. Oh, and we got it for PGA now. We have the PGA lineup builder too. So you're getting that. The MLB one's about to come out, but half off first week, less than $4.50. Even if you're playing a couple dollars a day and you just don't have the time to put in that's time that you'd like to put in the research and everything, and you're sitting on the can and you got to make lineups there before you start getting yelled at or something. That is straight for you. You're getting the optimal score, the leverage score, the projections, ownership on all the players, everything. You can lock players, swap players, you name it. So check that out if you haven't done so yet. Less than $4.50 for the first week, or you want to do everything, every sport, or just baseball, whatever it is, 50% off any package. Use the link in the description or the one in chat. All right. I watched an episode where she comes in and just gain weight and they go, what are you eating and drinking? She's like, well, I've been, just drinking chocolate milk. And he's like, chocolate milk? She's like, I thought that no one ever told me chocolate milk. I thought milk was good for you. And I'm thinking there's no way.
They should immediately put her down.
But it's remarkable how uneducated some people are on nutrition. And I'm no genius with this, but I have I know the basic tenets of putting a half a gallon of syrup into your chocolate milk, and it just baffled. Like, I thought this was good for me. I had no idea that a gallon of chocolate milk with breakfast was going to affect me negatively. It is remarkable.
That person is no longer needed. It's just no longer needed. Like, we're not. If you don't know that, life is going to throw way bigger curveballs at you for the rest of your life. It just is. If the only thing that I'm going to consume are 2.5 gallons of chocolate milk for the day, and you're just like, well, I wonder why I'm putting on all this weight. Life's too tough. It's too tough. It's too tough for you. You got to get out. Just pack it in. Keep chugging that milk. Get out quicker.
The thing is, you're just saying the quiet part out loud, but everyone knows it's true.
Yeah, I'm not even trying to be funny. I mean this sincerely.
What else are you doing?
Like, what are you wasting your time for?
What else are you doing with the oh, by the way, did not succeed in the end, in case anyone was wondering.
No, she switched to chocolate cream. She bumped it up from, she started instead of switching to 2%, Like, come on.
Yeah, just, all right. What are you doing with, what are you doing? Yeah, on diet sodies. What are you doing with the rest of the Thunder today? Is there anyone that, like, Dort and Isaiah Joe are up there? Jalen Williams, I got to tell you though, Jalen Williams with SGA in the lineup, I don't think people are talking about how big of a dip you see in his rates with SGA. Like, go back the last month, right? And I'm only going back the last, Jacobs, 3,344 calories in a gallon of chocolate milk, dude. That is 1.5 times your daily caloric recommended intake. 3,300.
Dude, it's like the biggest known thing in the bodybuilding industry. If you want to gain weight, you do the Go Mad diet. Gallon of milk a day.
Yeah. Right. And then you're going to
put on a shit.
But then you know
what's really crazy? The chocolate part of that is the best part of it.
No.
There's so much sugar in milk.
But there's so much sugar in the chocolate too.
Well, there doesn't really have to be. Like, if you want to make chocolate milk, you could use a dark chocolate bar with very low sugar in it. I mean, this chick's going up to the Hershey's bottle and just being like, splat, like Dr. Pimple Popper. Just a steady stream of brown liquid into the milk, and then a steady stream of brown liquid.
You're going to kill me, dude. You're going to kill me like that milk's killing them. I'm
just saying, you can drink chocolate milk and dodge largely the additional sugar from the chocolate if you want to. But I doubt she's in there melting down chocolate bars to mix this bad boy up.
Yeah, no. She's not going dark chocolate morsels and melting them down first. Anyway, Jalen Williams. Look at the last month. Let's say like 5 weeks now. Well, no, month of basketball. Month of basketball.
Can I pause you quickly? Which Jalen Williams?
What's up? Oh, no. Why?
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. I'm talking about the one that was crushing with SGA out. If you look at his rates with and without SGA over the last month, and I'm using the last month because Jalen Williams is a rookie who developed considerably throughout his rookie year. Look at the rate over the last month. He played 10 games with SGA and 5 games without him. His usage literally goes up almost 10% with SGA off the floor. His assist rate goes up considerably with SGA off the floor. I'm not saying you can't play him today. I just think 6,700 is either fair or maybe even a little bit overpriced with SGA on the floor, likely playing 40 minutes and massive usage, like probably 35% usage for SGA tonight.
Yeah, I think it's fair. He's projected for about 20% ownership. That's exactly where I have him. I gave him 38 minutes, but he's around 0.9 fantasy points per minute when everybody's going to be around. So I'm not going crazy on Jalen Williams. I'm going crazy on one guy here, and I'm excited to have this conversation. Why is Josh Giddey 7% owned today? Don't totally get this one. I get it. He's 8,800, and that's not a great price, but he's a 1.1 fantasy point per minute guy normally, and I gave him 38 minutes. Is there a reason we should not be expecting him to play like massive, like more than he normally does? Just down the stretch. He played 36 minutes on the 6th. He played 35 minutes on April 2nd. He played 35 minutes on the 29th, 35 minutes on the 26th, 38 and a half on the 24th. What is he going to be playing if they're playing in a do or die game today? I gave him 38. I got 50% of Giddey. To me, he's the best leverage play on the slate.
Yeah, seven. I mean, I guess it's just the fact that he's $9,000. But I mean, if Giddey,
you need 35 fantasy or 45 fantasy points out of him for today to
I
feel like
got
pretty
you.
good about it.
I got you. All I was saying is the price point that we had on Giddey prior to, these extended SGA absences or sitting out back to backs or missing time with the ankle, right? Or I think he had an illness too, COVID or something. Remember, he was in and out for like a month.
He was.
Before that, Giddey was in that mid 7K price range steadily. So maybe that's the only thing I could think of why he's pulling, 7%. But I don't disagree. He's going to play a ton of minutes. He's still going to be involved. And we also probably shouldn't ignore the fact that SGA is not a significant playmaker right now either. He takes a ton of shots. And unfortunately for Giddey, he creates a lot of his own shots. So there won't be assists on a lot of those. But SGA isn't like a, 35, 40% assist rate guy on average when Giddey's on the floor.
No, he is not. So I'm getting to Giddey pretty heavily. I'm happy to get to Dort as well. There's another guy that I think is playing 38 minutes today. Small forward eligibility, 5,400. He's like a 20% usage guy with SGA around. He's a 0.8 fantasy point per minute guy. He's pulling 43% ownership. He is very clearly the highest owned Thunder dude. Position has a lot to do with that. I think that ownership is completely warranted. I think he looks fantastic. And then Isaiah Joe, if you want to get a little bit different, I only gave him 24 minutes here. He's 4,100. But you get that guard forward eligibility. He's 22% owned. If the threes are available for him, like that's what you're looking for. You're looking, you need like 20 to 25 fantasy points. It's a value play. That's all you could really ask for here. Getting to the rest of this team, difficult. If you think Jalen Williams with a Y can play more minutes today, then you probably want to bump him up a little bit. That said, it's a bit of a scare. He's a rookie. You don't get a lot of really good rookie performances, particularly in do or die games. So he does scare me a little bit, but he's not pulling a ton of ownership. There's a path there. The guy that I'm really interested in here, I wouldn't be surprised to see some interesting minutes on Dario Saric. He's power forward center eligibility. He's 3,900, and he's a guy that's been around. It feels like the type of guy that they would put out there, especially against the Pelicans in minutes where you don't have Joval on the floor. Dario Saric can match up with Larry Nance. That's not going to be much of an issue at all. That feels like a path to me that they could go. The problem is they've just got so many other bodies. I just assume they consolidate this rotation. I think Dario Saric is sneaky.
Yeah, the question now is, will Nance definitely play? I think he will.
We're going to get there because he's the highest owned guy on FanDuel right now.
Yeah. Well, he's questionable. And
sure,
he did get a practice in, but it seems like he actually is questionable right now. So I don't know. If he doesn't play, Joval might just go nuts.
If he doesn't play, I still don't think we're getting a lot of Joval minutes.
You think we just get more Hayes in a spot like this?
Yeah, or Trey Murphy.
Really?
I think they just spread him out. I mean, what are you worried about from the Oklahoma City side if they've got a big man on the floor? I think they just go five. I think they're more likely to go five out, but it would be Hayes for sure. Yeah. I don't think I'm not a Joval believer in this game. I think SGA is going to beat him like a drum.
I mean, Joval is definitely a matchup based guy. We know that.
And this is not that matchup. There's so much movement on the Thunder.
Yeah, but also if he's out there and he's just piecing together a monster performance early on, it'd be tough not to keep him on the floor.
I mean, they go out of their way to not close with him.
Yeah, I know. They were closing with him. You know what's funny? They were closing with him for a while there for 5-6 straight games. I think 6 straight games, and they went 5-1 in those games. Yeah. And then they faced the Golden State Warriors, and you're just not closing with Joval against the Warriors. But
no, not so much.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, then what about Jalen Williams though with a Y? Do you not think we could see some additional run? The reason I ask on him is because there aren't a lot of cheap players. He is cheap. He is somebody, I know he's a sub 1 fantasy point per minute guy, but what if you end up getting 25, 26 minutes from him today? It's 4,300.
So I would like him in that scenario. I think his minutes are the most volatile of anybody on the Thunder because it's just a situation where you don't tend to rely on rookies all that frequently. And other Jalen Williams has proven to be a very different rookie. But in this case,
you told me the Thunder don't care about winning. So, I mean, why would they care?
They care about winning this game now. Everything's established. They didn't care then. It made no difference to them. Now they're already in it.
Oh, I see how it is.
There's a giant difference.
I see.
Made no difference to them whether they made the playoffs or not. Whether you get a better lottery pick or like that's all. They don't care.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
I mean, it's 100% true.
Man, moving the goalposts on me, I win.
You'll see it when you see the minutes played for SGA and Jalen Williams and Josh Giddey and Lou Dort today, and it will prove me right.
What?
But anyway,
they've cared.
Jalen Williams can play anywhere from 16 to 28 minutes today. He's a wild card. If he's 6% owned, he's certainly worth the flyer. People played way worse options yesterday. That's for sure.
Somebody said you can't drink milk unless it's with cereal. I totally disagree, man. You can drink milk with pasta, which is
yes.
Thank you. People think that's crazy. Milk with pasta is the best.
No, spaghetti and meatballs with a glass of milk.
Yes. Maybe it like tamps down the acidity of the pasta, whatever it is. It's delicious. I use milk in a protein shake. I hate them with water. I just think they're disgusting.
I use oat milk, but we're on the same path.
Yep. Yeah, and I put it in cereal. Nah, all the milk shamers out there, I mean, get a life, right?
Yes.
Although Adam drinking a glass of milk while eating his cereal, that one, he lost me there.
I'm going to be honest. That one was one of the weirder things I've ever heard on a show.
I love everyone says milk with pasta is gross until they try it. And then they go, oh, pretty delicious.
Yeah. It's just not gross.
Talk about it's not heavy. You don't want to chug a gallon of chocolate milk. You just want, a small glass of milk. That's all. Let's talk about the Pels. One spot to go here. Well, you got videos coming out today, right? I got the best bets video coming out. We went 2-1 yesterday. Plus money.
Already out.
What's up?
They're already out, brother.
Nice. Went plus 125 on LeBron under 6.5 assists. We still hit that even with overtime. Got the Lowry over 3.5 boards or assists. And then I had the plus 220 Butler double. Should have been a 3-0, like plus 4 unit spot, Josh, but plus 5 units, matter of fact, but we'll take it. Anyway, that'll be out soon. Josh's are already up. All that stuff is in the
I thought I had it yesterday, dude. I thought I had it. I went 2-1 yesterday on Prize Picks. Missed out on Trae Young's Prize Picks prop. It was fantasy points over 41.
What do you have?
40.1.
Oh.
Smash the other two.
Brutal. Yeah. It's tough. But our chalkboard, by the way, guys, for all 450 of you watching with us right now, there's the best part is there's DFS conversation and there's betting conversation. We were sweating everything last night. That's going to be so fun for the playoffs. There's 1,300 people in there already, some really active people, great community. All the picks are entirely free in all the channels. All the conversation forever too. Like it's always going to be free. So if you're not in there yet, link is down there to chalkboard. Join us. Betting, DFS, all that stuff. Also, Josh, I would say use the link down there for Bet365 to get $200 for free when you bet $1 single on whatever you want. I'm not wrong to say it's the best promo in the country right now, right?
No, you are not.
It's $1 that you're betting and you're getting 200 in bonus bets. We had a guy that turned it into $1,500 in the course of a week.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
He tweeted us the screenshot. I'm thinking, holy shit, dude, $1 gets $200 in bonus bets. It runs it up. If you're in Virginia, Colorado, Ohio, or New Jersey, it's just the straight no-brainer. My guess is it's gone. If I had to guess, I'm saying I give it another 2 weeks, if that. I could be wrong. But there's no way they keep this forever. It's just no way. No sports books do that. They're new to these states, to the U.S. They're trying to incentivize people to get over there. And the best way to do it is say, we're going to give you the best promo that you can find. You deposit $10, you bet $1 of that on whatever it is you want. If you lose, it doesn't matter. You still get the 200. My thing, I would take the $1. Josh, I would take the $1 and I would just put it on like a massive long shot parlay and let it rip. Because if you lose it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, take the chance. Why not?
Yeah. Put it on like a 1,000 to 1 and see what happens. I mean, have some fun.
Parlay the first 4 games of the playoffs on Saturday together and, take a shot. Add a prop if you want.
Have some fun with it. It's a dollar. Either way, on the other side, once that bet settles, you're getting $200. Colorado, Virginia, New Jersey, and Ohio. In the worst case, you lose all of it and you just go on a terrible run, or you don't know what you're doing and you're down $1 at the end of the day. So there's zero downside in something like this. Best ROI opportunity you're going to find. Those 4 states, link in the description and in chat. We'll see you guys over there. It's coming to PA soon.
Let's wrap it up. I got to ask you a question before we wrap it up. It's about our milk discussion.
Mm-hmm. Please.
Why do we stop drinking breast milk, like from a human? Why do we stop drinking human milk?
Well, because
I understand we can't go straight to the tap for the rest of our lives. That's going to be a little bit different. Why isn't it sold?
I wondered if it has if it gives you superhuman powers. I had a long conversation with my buddy about this after my first kid, and we had some breast milk in the fridge, and I was like, dude, just try it. I want to know if you're stronger and you're better. You know what I mean? Does it make you, because there's something amazing about natural milk, right? Maybe you're right. Maybe it. Well, first of all, the reason we stop is because you can't be 19 years old out there sucking on teat in the middle of the, Target. So
yeah, but I don't carry a cow around with me 24/7.
So you're saying you would just have it supplied, but you don't expect it to come from your maternal source. You're saying you just want it being in stores available to purchase. That's what you're saying.
Why, when you sit down to have a plate of spaghetti and meatballs, are you drinking cow's milk instead of human milk?
Well, my guess is cow's milk tastes way better.
I don't know.
You can buy it. I'll send you some. Will you try it? You're asking the question. So now you're pretty much obligated to try it. Don't recoil on me now.
I have been a person when asked what milk I want in my coffee, I have responded breast. That has not gone over well in to most baristas.
Would you? Oh, you said that?
Of course I have.
Would you do it if I bought you some? Probably expensive.
Yeah.
You'd have a glass of it?
I don't know if I'm going to have a glass, but I'll try it.
Dude, I'm talking.
Why do I got to have 12 ounces?
You asked, why don't we do it? So let's figure it out. If it's disgusting, you're going to go, all right, now I know why we don't do it.
Will you try it?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, sure.
Breast milk tastes no different than cow milk.
No way I believe that. No way I believe that.
I mean, why wouldn't it? I assume it all tastes basically the same, and the change in taste is basically based on diet.
Let's do it. I'll see if I can find some.
What do you mean you'll see? Do you have a guy?
I don't know. I'm sure Craigslist.
So it is. Well, no, it is. That is like a service where if a mother is not using hers, she will squirt that shit out and reappropriate it to other people that want to give human milk to their babies. That's a thing, I think.
I mean, there's got to be a strict vetting process on this, so I doubt you can get it on Amazon. You can't just be like, I bet he had some leftover.
Yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. Why isn't there a warehouse of women just hooked up to the udders and we have human milk service? Why is that not a thing? There's got to be a reason it's not a thing.
Because but would they get paid for this? This would be an occupation essentially. You can't.
Yeah, of course. No, it's not no. This isn't the place where they make our iPhones.
Yeah. All right. I'll see if I can find some. And if I end up having another kid, I'll send some out to you. Send it down to Wilmington.
See, I feel like that one is gonna not go over as well. If you're hey, Justine, I need a pint jar and a priority mailbox.
She'd find it hilarious. If I said Josh is going to do this on the show, she'd be like, tell me when.
You think she would find it hilarious for me to drink her breast milk?
It's not from the source. Yeah, it's not weird. She was going to let my buddy Pat try it.
To be fair, I should be allowed to take it from the tap.
All right. So you're going too far. You always go too far. You always go too far, man. You always go too far. Don't do that. All right.
No contact, just airmail, like a water fountain at school. Like I'll get up above the area, but I want it to shoot in.
Bet365, link in the description and in the chat. With the Pels, let's move on. Larry Nance is questionable. I think my assumption is that he's going to be out there today. Brandon Ingram's price point is wild, but he's still popular. You have 7 guys at 25+% ownership right now.
I love the Pelicans. They are between Toronto and the Pelicans. I'm getting to like 250%.
Hold on a second. John
each.
P said Laffy's getting pissed. I'm not pissed off, dude. Josh and I joke about this shit all the time.
No, it's not a thing at all. I don't know how you don't get to everything here for the Pels. Like Brandon Ingram at 10K, pulling 27% ownership. Very clearly looks good. Is priced better than Shea. I've got him projected better than Shea. And he's at a position that's better than Shea. That's why you're seeing that happen. If you want to just try to get a little bit different and swap a Brandon Ingram to a Shea, by all means. Those guys are going to be like 50-50 to outscore each other. If you want to try to get a little bit of a different construction, go to Shea. But Brandon Ingram looks great. Trey Murphy for 6,400. You're getting shooting guard, small forward eligibility. He's 50% owned, fully warranted. If you want to go to CJ, by all means, he's 42% owned. I'm light on CJ. I did give him 39 minutes. By the way, I gave Herb Jones 38. I gave Trey Murphy 40. I gave Brandon Ingram 40. So I am getting to these guys in bulk. I love Herb Jones, though. 5,600. I gave him 38 minutes. He's 37% owned. He's a 0.8 fantasy point per minute guy. And that dude's just going to be out there. We just saw a game for the Pels where they went for it. They cut Dyson Daniels from the rotation. They played 8 guys. You got 42 minutes out of Ingram. You got 40 out of Murphy. You got 39 out of McCollum. You got another 39 out of Herb Jones. He's just going to be out there. And if you can put him in at that power forward spot, I actually think he's a little underrepresented. And then we get to the big talking point. Joe Val and Larry Nance.
Real quick on Ingram.
Yeah.
I pull up Odd Shopper. The best bet we have right now, it's 10% XROI.
Yeah.
Under Brandon Ingram's PRA is 45.5 today. I mean, Joel Embiid's at some books.
I have it at 45.5.
That's wow. But that's a massive number for Ingram. Not saying it's wrong. It's like Embiid on DraftKings when I looked earlier was 47.5. Ingram's at 45.5. That's crazy.
What's SGA's?
43.5.
Okay. So you can, it's a lineup construction reason for why those guys are, and slight price for why they're separated in
because they project pretty well for a 2-game slate.
So now we got to talk Joe Val and Larry Nance. Josh Richardson at 3,700 is pulling 25% ownership. He's sort of like the knockoff Jalen Noel of today. If you want to get there, by all means, go ahead. He probably plays slightly more, he could play more minutes. Those minutes are available. He played 29 on Sunday. I just don't have a great feel to how many he is actually going to get, whether I can see it. We only got, and here's where it gets interesting. 38.8 minutes on Sunday for Joe Val and Larry Nance together. That's 10 minutes short of all of the center minutes. So like I said before, I'm not going to be surprised if they just go small. If this isn't working for Joe Val, they don't mind not going to Larry Nance. They will happily go to Ingram, Murphy, McCollum, Jones, Jay Rich, or insert Najee Marshall here. There doesn't have to be a haze. Joe Val's at 25% ownership, 6,800. I gave him 26 minutes. I don't love it. There's a decent chance that I actually discount that a bit. I think this is just a really bad spot for him. He's going to be put in the spin cycle over and over again, and I don't think he can handle it. It's the Larry Nance question now, because you can get to him at power forward. He's 3,800. That price is incorrect, and he's 48% owned already with this Q tag. If the game is competitive, I would be shocked if they're either closing with Larry Nance or they're closing with neither center. There's basically a 0% chance they're going to close with Joe Val in this spot. I love the idea of getting to Nance, but I am light on him.
Nance's per minute production took a hit a little bit this year, but he's still 0.9.
Yeah.
he still has the potential to play 24 minutes in a spot like this.
Oh, he's got a potential to play 30 today.
Yes. But
I just don't know if he can handle that.
That's like high. Yeah. It is weird too, because I remember Adam and I were doing a strategy show or a deeper dive, and someone had mentioned in the chat that like maybe the reason Joval's getting all these minutes is because Nance has been dealing with this nagging injury. Maybe that's true. Like maybe he's feeling better now. He played 34 minutes last week against Memphis. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that he can do it. It's just his minutes are all over the map.
They are. They really are. I think by the time I get to lock, I will probably punt Joval just because I don't like the spot for it at all, which I guess will probably end up letting me bump up Josh Richardson slightly. I think that he's going to look pretty good in this scenario just because he's so flexible. He can guard up and down the positional spectrum, which helps out a little bit. So I don't think his ownership is all that crazy, but I'm very worried about Joval in this spot. I don't think that this is what he's made of or made for.
Fun show, huh, man?
I think we had an all right entertainment product for today.
I thought it was pretty.
You can tell us the NBA postseason because you and I are back.
Yeah, yeah. Haven't skipped a beat. By the way, we are. Every time I think of those, like haven't skipped a beat or something, it just leads me to the very low hanging fruit, which they don't eat. But we're almost at 100 likes. So guys, before you go, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, join our chalkboard, Bet365, all that stuff down there, 50% off. You guys know the drill. But I appreciate you hanging with us. These shows, it devolves into madness sometimes. Just embrace it. We have fun. We're having fun. We're talking basketball. I can't get the image out of my head of you going the Hershey squeeze in there.
I'm saying,
But to think that you assume they might be using dark chocolate in their chocolate.
Look, I didn't want to be rude.
Oh no, right. After saying those people shouldn't exist, you didn't want to be insensitive.
I mean, they clearly don't want to exist, so.
Man, that show, for anyone that doesn't watch it, you're missing out. You are missing out. And I tell you, the one guy recently, what happens is you go in and then you go, sorry, Jacob, I'm almost done. I know you probably got things to do today. Jacob Roach, shout out to him for producing this one. I root for them, by the way. Some people like the slovenly behavior. I root for them, okay? I want to see them win.
I agree.
You agree? Okay, yeah. Like,
I would like the best story you can get here is them like succeeding in dumping 500 pounds.
100%. Now,
Agreed.
Granted, is there that morbid curiosity of like, oh my God, that's what it looks like? Yes, of course, morbid. But see, it's just everything comes back. But here's what I'm saying, right? There was this one guy recently, a few episodes. My wife and I watched this together. It's a great show. Can't eat during it, but it's a great show. And
they can.
They can, yeah. And the guy, what happens is you go in, you have to lose a certain amount of weight to prove that you're ready for weight loss surgery, okay? And also you have to be a certain weight. Weight loss surgery would kill you on the table. You're just done, right? This guy he gets down and he's like, I don't think I want to do the surgery. I think I can do it on my own. Famous last words, right? Like, no, you can't. Guy drops like 400 pounds on his own in a matter of a year or something. It was insane, man. And he did it just by eating healthy and walking, and he didn't do the surgery. Seeing something like that, you go, you know what? Very difficult. It's like 1% of these people. But how do you not get stoked on those type of people?
I mean, that's the cool thing. I'd love to know if that guy can then use his body like a wingsuit and just hold out those flaps and just like dive off of a cliff.
Well, a guy tried that, actually. This guy tried
with his extra skin?
No, not with extra skin.
Oh, Jesus. I was like, send me the link.
1930, he created his own wingsuit and then like had a parachute, jumped off the Eiffel Tower and just splatted on it to his death.
See, if he had the extra skin, he might have had a chance to catch a breeze there.
Yo, that is hilarious. Yeah, because you got to have multiple surgeries to remove that. After losing the weight is just half the battle.
Oh yeah, they can build like a whole new human out of all that extra skin.
Because then you just look like a melted candle.
Yeah, I mean, oh God, you can make all sorts of lampshades and stuff if you want to.
But shout out to those people, man. That's got to be so tough because it's clearly an addiction, and I know a little about that. But
Yeah, like I used to watch Biggest Loser all the time just to see like the people at the end that are just like every week it's 15, 20, and all of a sudden it's like things are going well. Then you get that person coming in and like they gained 8 pounds and it's just like, I don't know.
It's like remember the movie, by the way, great movie as a kid, Heavyweights with Ben Stiller.
So good.
Where they were hiding the candy like in the bunk beds and stuff.
I haven't seen it in a while.
I always wanted to do The Blob.
Oh, I've wanted to do that in my life so bad. And they're everywhere now.
You would still
they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
I would love to do that. Have someone take someone from TLC and have them jump off for me and just shoot me to the moon, into orbit.
Jump? You mean fall off? Yeah. These people aren't jumping off of anything.
Dude, shoot me into orbit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I watched one. It popped up. This isn't the same. It's the same principle as the Blob, but it wasn't a blob. It was... I was scrolling through TikTok or YouTube Shorts or whatever, and they had like 2 babies sitting on the edge of, it was essentially just like an air mattress.
Oh, God.
Somebody dove on it, shot the kid, boom, blasted them right off the ceiling of the house.
on accident?
Well, I guess they were just trying to like pop them up a little bit. Didn't really realize what it was going to cost. It looked like that girl got shot out of a shotgun straight into the ceiling. Yeah, I'll have to find it and send it to you. Hilarious. I assume if that video makes it to the internet that child is okay and it's funny. They got blobbed. But I wanted to do that forever. It's got to be so much fun.
I'm going to close with this. A shout out to you guys for hanging with us here. Sam Van Dam said the Shallow Hal, the part where I guess is she behind the wildebeest. Do you remember that? When they're...
So I haven't seen it in a while. I just remember that Jason Alexander had a tail in that movie. Yeah.
He had what a great movie that was. I mean, maybe it was bad, and I just remember it.
It is dog shit.
But it's one of those movies where I remember it being funny as hell.
Well, it came out when you were what, like 13?
Yeah, and it was funny back then. Tony Robbins
was in it. It's Gwyneth Paltrow and Jack Black, right?
Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow just won her lawsuit as well. Tried to kill a guy on the slopes.
Oh, I thought you meant because of Shallow Hal.
It was a frivolous lawsuit, but
50% Rotten Tomatoes, 45% audience score.
Okay, I only care about the audience score, but that's not good. I don't take critic scores seriously anymore because there's all just, they can't take them seriously. But man, that's bad. For some reason, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was not a gem.
But I feel like it gets bad scores from critics because it's not exactly sensitive.
I mean, it's just not good. It's just not a good movie.
I think I have to rewatch it.
It came out in 2001, so I probably saw that movie.
2001?
I probably saw that movie 30 times.
Wow, I was 14. Oh, you've seen it a lot, though.
It came out while I worked in the video store, so I had it on all the time.
Man. Yeah, there's no way you can make that movie now. Zero chance you could make that movie now. No way.
Yeah. You just have to flip the gender roles.
No, I don't think so.
Nobody gives a shit about fat men.
Yeah, they do. Jacob and I were talking about this the other day. People were pissed off about who did The Whale?
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser, yeah. Brendan Fraser. People were pissed off about that. All right, I got to go do some videos. What are we doing here? I got to go get some work done. This has been fun.
I've already done my work, so I don't give a shit. I'll waste all day.
Yeah, I mean, we're still holding around 400, so.
I mean, this is better than the DFS content.
No, man. We get that out of the way. We had some fun.
I mean that glowingly. That's not a put. It's like saying that, I don't think that it's a crazy thing if Joel Embiid wins the MVP over Nikola Jokic. That's how I feel about this. Our rapport is better than our product.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, they're both great, but if I had to choose one or the other,
you think is just better.
Yeah,
guys, we've been doing this long enough now.
A few years.
All right, appreciate you guys. Always fun. We'll see you guys back here a lot. I don't think there's any games tomorrow, right? So we got Friday games.
Yep, we're back Friday for the Heat play whoever the hell wins the Bulls Raptors game, and then the Wolves play whoever wins the Oklahoma City New Orleans game.
By the way,
since Jacob, I know you don't know this shit.
Jacob, keep hitting us with all these facts that you're pulling up throughout the shows too. Definitely adding to it, no doubt about it.
It helps.
It helps a ton. Appreciate. I mean, it takes us longer to do a show, but it's worth it. We'll see you guys soon. Follow Josh at Josh Engleman, me at Lafayette _D, and we'll catch you back here for the next one. Peace.